So welcome everyone. Again, this is our VeeamOn 2020 recap presentation. I am Jim Lorber. I'm a solutions architect at SMP. And again, if you have any questions during the presentation, go ahead and put them in the Q&A box, and we'll do our best effort here to get any answers you need near the end of the presentation. Again, this is VeeamOn is the yearly Veeam event. This year it was completely online. Typically, you would, in pre-pandemic world, you would have been able to attend possibly and mingle with your peers and industry experts. This time it was online, and so a little bit different format. So you can still register for VeeamOn, and I'll provide you with that link at the end of the presentation if you want to review the content and look at the presentations. It's all on demand. You can view them at your leisure. So for today, our agenda is as listed here. We're going to take a little bit of time giving an introduction to SMP for those of you who may not be SMP customers currently. We'll also talk about the webinar offer. So for attendees of this webinar, there's a offer for a gift that we'll give you some details on. Then I'm going to talk about modern data protection. This is one of the areas that was highlighted at VeeamOn. Modern data protection includes their cloud data management initiatives around Veeam. We'll look at some industry trends, some numbers from IDC and Forrester that Veeam has commissioned, and we'll also take a look at some Veeam features. For those of you who are current Veeam users or Veeam customers, you may be familiar with some of these features. Maybe there's some you're not as familiar with, and maybe you want to take advantage of them. I'll also take a look forward at some version 11 features that were announced at VeeamOn. Also, I'll give you a high-level overview of SMP's Backup as a Service offering that's based on Veeam. Again, we can help you manage and monitor your backup infrastructure leveraging Veeam. Then last, we'll go through some next steps, both again how to redeem or qualify, I should say, for the webinar, the free gift card that we're offering as to attendees of this webinar. So I want to talk a little bit first about SMP. What makes SMP different? So SMP is a technology company, obviously, and we build solutions for our clients. And so we offer that digital transformation process on all levels of infrastructure and technology. And we deliver it with integrity. And not only that, but we're some of the nicest people you might meet. And our customers, our current customers can attest to that. We also offer a service guarantee for all of our services. If you're not satisfied with the services that have been delivered within a statement of work and we can't make it right for you, we offer a money-back guarantee. So here's a list of some of our clients that we have partnerships with. You may recognize some of them in the upstate New York and up into New England, including University of Vermont Medical Center, Tessie Plastics, which is in Syracuse, and the Buffalo Bills, which are a local NFL team in Buffalo. So SMP serves multiple industries, including enterprise, K-12 and higher education, including SUNY schools and many school districts in New York State. We also serve manufacturing industries like Tessie Plastics. We also offer services to commercial entities, including banks and financial, and also government, including state, local, and county governments. We're also heavily involved in healthcare, including clients like Roswell Park Cancer Institute in Buffalo. So to highlight our special offer here for webinar attendees, Anyone that attends today's session and then schedules a one-on-one appointment following the session here will receive, excuse me, will receive a Home Depot gift card as a thank you. So for those clients that are new to Veeam, that follow-up one-on-one appointment will include a customized demo of Veeam. We can focus on specific areas of your infrastructure or applications that you want to leverage Veeam for. We'll walk you through how that's going to benefit your organization. We'll also help you set up evaluation licenses, and I'll provide a link to that again at the end of the presentation. So if you want to try a 30-day evaluation of Veeam, we'll assist you in configuring it, setting it up, and walking you through the process. For current Veeam customers, we'll provide a Veeam environment audit. We'll review the new features and upcoming features of Veeam, and then help you with a roadmap session as you work toward integrating cloud data management inside the Veeam environment. So I want to talk a little bit about data protection trends. Again, these are numbers from a IDC Forrester that Veeam commissioned, and it kind of highlights some of the impacts to the respondees around data protection. So the average spend here for the respondees was about almost $500K, and that's a yearly spend number that on average that organizations are spending on data protection. In addition, 73% indicated that they're not able to provide access to data in their apps in an uninterrupted fashion. In other words, if there's a data center failure, server failure, or storage failure, they're not able to cleanly provide access to those failed resources or recover those failed resources for their end users. And the result of these data protection problems is that downtime has damaged their brand. 44% indicate that those kind of events have damaged their brand integrity. In addition, 51% indicated that these kind of events result in the loss of customer confidence. They can't access applications, they can't access websites. So it's impactful when data protection is not up to par. So across all of the organizations that were interviewed, these are the priority challenges. And this is probably no surprise to any of you on the session here. Ransomware and cyber threats are the #1 challenge. And the average ransomware attack results in costs over $80,000 to restore the data, if possible. Now that may represent actually paying the ransom in some cases, or recovering from backup if possible. I'm sure you've all heard stories from your peers and counterparts, and there's some great sessions on the VeeamOn events that highlight some of this, and some real-world examples of how ransomware can impact and has impacted organizations. One of the things that they highlighted is that the attack vectors for ransomware have been changing. Traditionally, we think of ransomware getting into your organization through phishing attempts, email, somebody clicks on a link. The current data indicates, though, that that's shifting away from phishing attacks, and the #1 vector for ransomware attacks is now RDP, or the Remote Desktop Protocol from Microsoft. Ransomware is getting in through those network connections and infecting the environment. So the second challenge for most organizations is a skills shortage. Skill shortage is partly due to having to maintain those legacy systems, whether those are backup to tape, backup to disk, just traditional legacy systems that don't necessarily leverage cloud data or cloud data management for efficiency. And it ends up creating barriers to innovation. So if you're trying to just keep the lights on and keep your backups going in legacy systems, you can spend a lot of time that could be spent elsewhere. So I want to talk a little bit about cloud data management. So cloud data management is part of what we call modern data protection or modern backup. So cloud data management allows you to achieve data management and protection across data centers and cloud. So you're able to leverage cloud for additional backup and protection, but also to provide additional efficiencies around cost and downtime. So those respondents that are using cloud data management techniques within Veeam have found that they're more efficient at those data backup and recovery processes. It's quicker to back up and it's quicker to recover when you need to. It also provides savings around data protection by leveraging cloud storage in an efficient manner to drive down the cost of your on-premise storage that's required for backup. Also, from a data security perspective, those those users that are leveraging cloud data management, they experience little to zero ransomware financial impact. That doesn't mean no downtime. That just means from a financial perspective, they were able to get the business back up and going efficiently and get the business back online. So cloud data management has some benefits around both data availability. So it becomes a lot more simple, a lot more flexible, and a lot more reliable for data backup and recovery. And whether you're recovering cloud workloads or whether you're recovering on-premise workloads. It also allows you to realize data agility, so you can leverage your environments where it makes sense without constraints on moving that data across from on-prem to the cloud. It also allows you to do some business acceleration around reusing your existing backup data for analysis or to pursue new opportunities without increasing your costs. So you don't need to leverage huge data warehouses. You can use your existing backups to do that kind of research and data mining. The modern data protection model that includes that cloud data management has some clear benefits. So again, those respondees that are using these technologies indicated that they had an average of a 208% return on investment. That's huge. And the reason being that there's implementations don't have to be delayed. This technology, the cloud's available. It's relatively easy to spin up, and there's no delays in implementing. You don't have to wait for infrastructure. You don't have to wait for things to be connected in your data center, and that results in an immediate return on investment. In addition, we have faster VM recovery, so up to 9 times faster. So if you're running virtual environment, you're able to recover those VMs much quicker, and you can restore them to where you need to at any time. Leverage of these modern data protection and cloud data management techniques results in improved confidence for the respondees here. And, you know, it helps you sleep better at night, right? You have confidence that you're prepared, you have a plan, and you're ready to respond in case of a disaster or an outage. It also lets you quickly respond to changes in the business. So as your business evolves, you add more data, you add more applications, it's much easier to protect those new applications and workloads as they're added to the environment. So now I want to talk a little bit about Veeam features. These are all features that are currently available inside Veeam, and it's part of the Veeam Cloud Data Management Platform. So if you have Veeam and you're using it, you may be using some of these technologies. You may be looking at leveraging them in the future. And if you're not a Veeam client, this kind of gives you a good foundation for Veeam's technology and strategies for modern data protection. So first is backup and recovery. So Veeam's claim to fame has always been a backup and recovery solution. They've always done that traditionally in virtual environments like VMware and Hyper-V. So they've been able to back up and recover this, for quite a long time now. They've been very good at that. They've also added cloud mobility. So now you can protect cloud workloads, you can restore cloud workloads, and you can migrate workloads across cloud providers, whether that's AWS, Azure, or other S3 compliant storage providers. It also provides you the platform for monitoring and analytics. So the intelligence is built into Veeam. It allows you to head things off and perform remediation and gives you that visibility you need into your backup and data management environment. Also provides for orchestration and automation, both from a recovery perspective, but also to provide greater value to your business. And finally, it helps you with governance and compliance. So ensures the security, things like cyber recovery, ensures compliance if your business has compliance requirements, both legal and privacy. So one of the newer features for Veeam that's highlighted within the VeeamOn sessions is NAS backup. So traditionally, Veeam was a virtualization backup provider, again, primarily for VMware and Hyper-V. And this is a huge growth area for a lot of businesses around NAS. That they store a lot of data, particularly unstructured data like video, graphics. And so Veeam's added the capability to back these file types up. So it's these files continue to grow in size, whether it's, again, video surveillance, graphics files for engineering, or just user documents. Traditionally, users are allowed to save pretty much whatever they want, so there's not a lot of oversight on how much this is growing. So the Veeam Enhanced NAS Backup provides backup capabilities for NAS, both SMB, which is the Windows standard, but also NFS on Linux file systems, Windows file servers, and Linux file servers. So those can be NAS devices, those can be virtual servers, those can be physical servers. Veeam can now back all those up. It's also snapshot friendly. So if you have existing storage that takes snapshots at the storage level, it can do point-in-time copies from the snapshot and offload those performance requirements from your network to the storage array. It also provides for change file tracking. So this allows you to do incremental backups for those files. So only the changes that occurred since the last backup are required. So it's extremely fast and efficient, and this can be done through a Veeam proxy. So it takes that load off of your file servers themselves. So Veeam has what we call the next generation instant recovery engine. This allows you to recover multiple VMs from any Veeam backup. So you can back up physical servers, restore them to a virtual server. You can of course, back up virtual machines and restore them to other virtual machines. You can back up cloud VMs and restore them to your on-prem environment. And this helps you meet those recovery speed requirements. So if you have recovery time objectives or RTOs, that helps you meet those compared to a traditional restore that may be done in a serial fashion. And it also speeds up recovery time in case of those data center outages. Also can assist you with disaster recovery and migration. So using migration to the cloud, it can speed up that migration compared to traditional recovery. And again, it can convert your physical environment to virtual. So again, you can recover multiple VMs from any VM backup to vSphere simultaneously. So another feature in Veeam is what we call the cloud tier and scale up backup repository capabilities. So in backup strategies, we talk about the 3-2-1 rules. So the 3-2-1 rule is basically you need 3 copies of your data, 1 in production, 1 in backup, 1 in a tertiary site or storage. The 2 refers to you should have at least 2 different types of media. So if you're using disk on site, you should have a copy in the cloud. Maybe that means tape backup as that second type of media. So Veeam's cloud tiering and scale out features allow you to take your, what we call the performance tier. That's your local storage for backup, and that could be direct attached storage. It could be a NAS device. It could be a dedupe appliance like an Exagrid or a data domain. And what this allows you to do is to scale out your repository using a capacity tier in the cloud. This can be the oldest backups. In other words, based on date, you move your oldest backups from the performance tier to the capacity tier. Or it can be an immediate copy, so that you have 2 copies of those backups. Another feature is the immutability. So Veeam supports immutable storage on S3 compatible storage. That includes the Amazon S3 and IBM Cloud Object Storage. And immutability is critical in recovering from a ransomware attack. It allows you to store your backups in a read-only format with a time lock, and they're, for all intents and purposes, read-only, and that cannot be changed until the lock expires. So even an administrator of your cloud site or the on-prem backup operations, those properties, once the data is written, it cannot be changed. So in addition, the scale out to the capacity here is you can set up policies when you want those copies to occur. It's transparent. Again, it leverages Veeam's incremental backup technology, so only changes are transported across the network. It's space efficient, and again, there's no extra cost involved from the Veeam side. It's included in the Veeam licensing. You do have to pay, of course, for your capacity tier storage from your provider. And again, it's that immutable storage properties on S3 compatible storage provide you with that ransomware protection. Now I'd like to talk a little bit about some features that were announced for Veeam 11. You may have heard about some of these. They were highlighted, again, at some of the VeeamOn sessions. It's not explicitly stated. You kind of have to dig for the sessions. Particularly, I think the keynote sessions had more information. So I don't think there were any technology sessions that explicitly talk about this, but they're definitely in the keynote. So VeeamCDP. So VeeamCDP is continuous data protection. This is asynchronous data protection for Tier 1 VMware vSphere workloads. And these are for the workloads that require the lowest RTO and RPO. So if you have those applications or workloads that require those as close to 0 as possible, RTO and RPO numbers, the VeeamCDP will enable to recover those pretty much instantly with minimal data loss, and it helps you provide those standard service level agreements that you have. So some of the, excuse me, some of the benefits here of VeeamCDP are there's no workload dependency. You can protect any OS and application. So Linux, Windows, any application that runs on those platforms. Also, there's no hardware dependency. It works with any storage. So if you have production storage on one type of manufacturer, you can use VeeamCDP across multiple types of storage and multiple manufacturers. It's not a storage-based technology. There's no extra cost. It's included in the Veeam Universal License. And if you haven't recently looked at Veeam's licensing model, they're moving toward a universal license, which includes all the features, and it's based on a yearly subscription. Traditionally, Veeam had used the per CPU license model for vSphere and Hyper-V. It's now the Veeam Universal License works across all platforms and includes all the features, and also includes backup capabilities for physical machines. Again, this is a subscription-based license, a yearly per machine fee, and I think the minimum is 10 licenses. You can start out with as few as 10. And this provides a great initial cost savings over the CPU, where you had to license each CPU on any hypervisor that was providing data for backups to Veeam. So where does VeeamCDP fit? So compared to the other backup and replication functionalities within Veeam, it kind of gives you an idea of where CDP will fit. So on the left-hand column, we have the different methodologies used to back up or replicate a workload. First one is restore from an image level backup. So you've done a backup. That can help you meet your SLAs, but from a recovery point objective, it may not be the best. And it also takes a while, so you can't meet very short RTOs. The second method is restore from transaction log backups. Again, this can meet your SLAs. It can also meet your recovery point objectives because you're using those transaction logs to restore the data to the most current point. However, it does take some time, so the recovery time objectives are longer. You can't get down to minutes. The third method is that instant restore from image level backup. So Veeam's been doing this for quite a while. You can take any backup you made of a virtual machine and almost instantly bring it online. This is very quick from a recovery time. You can get that machine up and running. You may lose some data, and also from a service level perspective, instant restores have reduced performance. They don't perform as well as a production storage machine. So the fourth one there is that failover to a classic replica. That's where you're using Veeam replication. Again, that's very quick from an RTO perspective. You may have some issues around the recovery point objective, but it can certainly meet your SLAs. And then finally, failover to a Veeam continuous data protection replica. This ticks all the boxes. So it provides you with very quick RTO, great RPO numbers, and can meet your service level agreement requirements. Another feature announced for Veeam 11 is that Google Cloud Storage. So Veeam supports Amazon S3, Microsoft Azure, Blob, IBM object-based cloud storage, and also other S3 compatible vendors like Wasabi. But they've also added in version 11 the ability to support the capacity tier on Google Cloud Storage. Again, this is that model of moving data, either all backups or your oldest, to the capacity tier to provide more space on your performance tier, or just limit the amount of data that you have on site. Another new feature, excuse me, is the archive tier. So if you're doing archives, if you're doing a GFS archiving, which is grandfather, father, son type of archiving, typically where you would do monthly, quarterly, yearly backups, and you need to retain those for long periods of time. This is a policy-based archiving and it supports archiving, again, inside Veeam to archive tiers for both Amazon Glacier, including their deep archive offering, and then Microsoft Azure Blob, the storage archive tier. This allows you another way for long-term retention of backups, again, either for compliance or auditing purposes. I'd like to talk a little bit about SMP's managed services. We offer managed services through our Smart Center. Managed services allow you to focus running your business. We help you manage those tasks and procedures that that take up time and resources within your organization. So overall, we offer monitoring and management across multiple IT solutions, including data center, storage, networking, collaboration, AV, room management. This is all managed through our NOC Operations Center, running 24/7, 365 days a year. So we're able to both monitor and manage your environment when you're working from home, when you're on vacation. We offer end-to-end expertise. We have specialists in all the core areas of the systems that we monitor and manage. It provides a great time and cost savings to our clients. We also provide ongoing recommendations. So as we monitor your systems and we're looking at them, we're collecting data, we can offer proactive recommendations and reporting on the status of your systems, and updates to firmware, updates to software, when and how those would occur. And again, this is covered by our service guarantee that I mentioned earlier. We guarantee your satisfaction around all these services, or we give you your money back. So SMP has a specific service around Veeam, and this is our backup as a service. So from a managed services portfolio perspective, again, this is a 24/7 by 365 days a year service. We do monitoring, management, remediation. When something breaks, we fix it. A backup fails, we restart it. We also offer a client portal for all our managed services where clients can submit tickets, and you can actually go in and view what's being monitored and the status of those managed environments. We also, again, offer scheduled reporting and recommendations. This is going to be a quarterly report. It could be a monthly report. We give you a written report on the status of your environment that we're managing for you. So SMP's Backup as a Service covers Veeam Backup. It also covers Veeam Replication. Those two kind of go hand in hand. They're very similar. It also covers the supporting infrastructure. So if that's storage arrays, backup targets, and also third-party integration. So if you're leveraging cloud data management and you have integration with AWS or Wasabi or Azure, we'll help manage those. We also provide hardware vendor support. So if you have an on-site storage array, dedupe appliance, we'll support that hardware for you. We also manage the Cloud Connect. Cloud Connect is a Veeam offering to cloud-based storage providers. So we have two tiers for Backup as a Service. The first tier is what we call our managed tier. This includes monitoring and notifications. We let you know when something's not right. We monitor the environment 24/7 by 365. If something goes wrong, we send you a notification. We also provide business critical application restore support. So when you do have something you need to restore, we're there to help you through the process. We also provide hardware support for restores, including platforms like Data Domain, Exagrid, Windows CIFS environments, and third-party NAS devices. The second tier that we offer around Backup as a Service includes everything I mentioned in the managed tier. In addition, we offer the Windows Veeam server monitoring. So if you have Windows servers running Veeam roles, backups, proxies. We monitor all those for you. We also monitor the network relating to the backup infrastructure, so switches, anything that would be touching that backup infrastructure. We also offer firmware maintenance for hardware targets, so if you have an exagrid or data domain, and there's firmware that needs to be updated, we provide that maintenance for you. We also provide Veeam upgrades, so when the next patch or next version of Veeam comes out, we do that for you. We also, around that, offer next business day support, so that if there's something that's not working right after the upgrade, we help you with that, work through that. Basically, this is end-to-end ownership of your backup as a service environment. So for everyone who's attending, there's a special offer. So anybody that is attending today and you schedule a follow-on one-on-one appointment with SMP, you'll receive a Home Depot gift card as a thank you. So for those clients that are new to Veeam, that one-on-one appointment that we follow up with will help you through a customized demo of Veeam solution. So for example, if you're interested in how Veeam handles application level backups and restores of SQL, Exchange, SharePoint, Active Directory, those application-aware backup and restore capabilities, we can highlight that. If you want a demo of cloud-based backup and restore capabilities, we can customize the demo to what you're interested in. And we'll talk about how that can help your organization. We can also provide you with those evaluation licenses. So we'll help you if you want to try Veeam for 30 days. We'll help you set those licenses up. I would add that Veeam has a great library of free community, what they call community editions of utilities and backup solutions on their website. You download them for free. Of course, there's no support, but it gives you an idea of what the Veeam technology can do. For current Veeam customers, we'll review your Veeam environment. We'll take a look at how you're backing things up, what could be improved possibly. We'll also take a look at which features you're leveraging and how maybe you could improve that feature use. Something maybe you're already paying for under your Veeam license and you just really haven't had the time to really dive into it. We'll also provide you with a roadmap session around how you can leverage cloud data management in the future to provide that resilient environment for your backups. So for next steps, to qualify for the gift card, you need to schedule a one-on-one follow-up. If you have an existing account manager and you know who they are, contact them and they'll schedule that follow-up. If you're new to SMP, please email us at the address specified there. That's solutions@smp-corp.com. Also, we'd appreciate it if you can take our recap survey at SurveyMonkey. And then, as I mentioned before, VeeamOn content is available for free to anyone who registers. Yeah, go ahead and register and take a deeper dive on some of the things we talked about today. We didn't have time to touch on everything, but there's some great features and capabilities around Veeam that you may be interested in. And there's not only keynote, but also more technical deep dives. So if you're looking for demonstrations of a particular technology, definitely go register for that. And it's on demand, so you can watch it whenever you want. There's no time limit. I don't know how long they're going to keep the content up, so it's provided by a third-party content provider, so there may be, it may be gone in 90 days. But definitely get in there and take a look. And then if you do want to try Veeam, there's a 30-day trial license available at the Veeam website.